Procuring abortion. The murder of the child in embryo is a crime prohibited by law and most repugnant to humanity. Yet it is one which the system of monogamy is obliged to wink at and tolerate. This horrid crime is becoming more and more common every year, till it is now somewhat fashionable, especially as it is more commonly practiced by fashionable people. Not many years ago, the person who dispensed drugs for such vile purposes was branded as a villain who looked upon as a hateful hag, a locusta, whose fit dwelling place was some dark cave among volcanic mountains, and whose fixed companions were venomous serpents and wild foxes. But it is now currently reported that one of the popular compounders of these death-dealing drugs is deemed worthy of the honor of knighthood and is appointed physician extraordinary to the Queen. Almost every newspaper now contains a well-displayed advertisement addressed to the ladies, setting forth the powerful properties of some specific for removing obstructions and bringing on the monthly periods with entire certainty. And although these drugs will be sure to cause miscarriages, yet they are at the same time so mild and safe as not to be injurious to the most delicate constituents. Such are some of the most impotent claims of the modern abortionist, but I cannot go on. For full details, I beg to refer to my readers to the public journals of the day, but the manufacturers and the consumers of the drugs for these abominable practices are not the only ones responsible for the crime. Monogamy is responsible for it. The entire social system is corrupt. The most respectable merchants and apothecaries deal in these drugs. The most respectable journals advertise them. Everyone reads about them, yet no protesting voice is raised, either against the use of them or the traffic in them. The ministers of religion, the proper censors of the public morals, are silent. The subject is too indelicate for them to allude to. The police, magistrates, and other officers of the law make no effort to bring the guilty parties to justice, except in the most shocking and notorious instances where the life of the mother is taken, as well as that of the child. Intelligent and respectable physicians, who have the best opportunities of knowing, state that this vice is now practiced more commonly by married women than by the unmarried, and is difficult to account for. And it is not difficult to account for. Under the system of monogamy, the wife attempts too much, and physical impossibilities are expected and required of her. She alone undertakes to supply all her husband's conjugal wants, and to gratify all his amorous desires, and she is quite conscious that even in the bloom of her youth and perfect health and in the height of her charm, she is scarcely capable of doing it. She dreads to have anything happen to her to make her less capable, especially if she has already borne one child and has passed through the long period of lactation. She remembers its effects upon herself and upon her husband's with alarm. She fancies herself in danger of losing her hold upon his affection, which she wishes to retain, of course, as long as possible. She therefore takes drugs to prevent fruitfulness and to preserve her form and beauty, in order to prevent her husband's affections being lavished upon others. And if the system of monogamy be right, then this motive is commendable, and the reasoning based upon it is entirely valid. No wife can be blamed for wishing to prevent her husband from forming illicit attachments and thus bringing dishonor upon himself and all his house. And the only means at her command for preventing it is to concentrate all his affections upon herself. But polygamy is capable of suppressing this vice, or at least greatly diminishing it, by removing its most powerful motives. Under the system of polygamy, the burdens as well as the privileges of the women are more equally distributed. No woman is required or expected to be always prepared for her husband's embraces, nor does she claim any more than she is able to receive, or than he is voluntarily inclined to bestow. If she is full of life and in vigorous health, and is capable of fulfilling her conjugal duties alone, it is well. Her husband is a happy man. But if she is not able, it is well. Her husband needs not be unhappy, for he can espouse another without reproach to her or dishonor to himself. There are a million clinical provided abortions in the United States. That happened in 2024. A million a year. Birth control. Families planning services provided through Medicaid and Title X alone are estimated to prevent 2.2 million unattended pregnancies each year. The 2.2 million figure only accounts for a fraction of U.S. women. Roughly 65% of U.S. women aged 15 through 49 use some form of contraception. The impact of private and out-of-pocket birth control use were included, the total number of pregnancies prevented annually would easily reach into the tens of millions. Tens of millions of children prevented every year, killed every year. Church is silent. Church has no way of solving. These young girls, these married women, are all on birth control, are all killing their children every year. The church is silent. Oh, but don't have two wives. You're going to hell for that. While their own wives are on birth control, killing their own offspring every year. And they wonder why Christians are declining in this country. Because they're killing them. They're killing their own offspring. Murder is in the Ten Commandments. Thou shalt not murder. And under monogamy, it is rampant. Tens of millions. What does it say? Tens of millions every year. It's the norm. No one says anything about it. No one cares. These women are forced onto it. They think they have to. A man needs to, to prevent the cancer of the balls, needs to ejaculate at least 21 times a month. Do you think one woman could keep up with that? Especially if she has 2 or 3, 4, 5 kids? Absolutely not. Even though under the monogamy doctrine, she is like forced to try to keep up with that. But she can't. They are holding these women to impossible standards. Under polygyny, what, you need 4 wives, 7 times each, boom, 21. No cancer for you. Church says, hey man, you're gonna get cancer, and hey woman, you're gonna kill your offspring every year. Under monogamy, that's the plan. Be fruitful and multiply. Yeah, taking the pill prevents that. Yet they go to the Old Testament, they pick and choose. They throw out be fruitful and multiply, but they keep in cleave unto the wife, Hebrew woman. And they try to use that as a monogamy doctrine. They pick and choose. And even the Genesis 2 isn't proving monogamy. It's proving what marriage is between a man and a woman. It does not prevent a man from having multiple marriages, covenants. Yeah, under monogamy, you have mass murder. You have impossible standards forced onto these women. And they wonder why. Divorce rates in the church, in this monogamous society is insane, through the roof. Thou shalt not murder. That's one of the 10 commandments. That's the commandments that the church says, oh, those are the only commandments we need to keep. Well, you can't even keep that one. You're killing your own offspring every year. I don't see a man can't have 2 or 3 wives. Yet that is held to such a demonic, sin, even though it's not. That's held above Murder. If a man has 2 or 3 wives, he'll be kicked out. Married couple that kills their kids every year, come on in. That's the norm. Yeah. Tens of millions every year. It's insane. No one talks about it. No one cares. Ponder on that.